there, crafters and stamping friends. This is Diane, the Creative Inkster, coming to you live from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Tonight is Tuesday, June the 1st already, and I'm going to show you a fun little technique that, it's hard to even really call it a technique. It is so simple in concept. And so what I have done on this card is I've used two embossing folders. This is the ornate the ornate floral I ran through first, and then I ran this piece of Flirty Flamingo through with the thanks. This is a set of two, thanks and hello. So that's how this card was made, and then it's just some simple decoration from there. And for the other one, I used this one here in So Saffron and Night of Navy. I used the Parisian Flourish embossing folder, and then I went through and ran it through again, the same piece with the hello, which is the version of the hello and thanks that go together. So let me show you how this works. It's really, really simple, and but it packs a wow. It's quite a different type of technique. So I'm going to show you the hello. I'm going to show you the thanks one with the Parisian. So I'm going to kind of mix those two up. So what you need is your die cut embossing machine. I'm going to use these here. So this gives me a chance to show you two different types of embossing folders. So the Parisian Flourish is a really thick folder. In comparison, the thanks one is quite thin. You can see the difference there. So there's two different ways to make your sandwich to put it in here. So for the Parisian Flourish, which is the first embossing I'm going to do, I'm going to slide my piece of 4 by 5 1/4 into there, and I'm using just the plate number 1 on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, then my embossing folder with the fold going into the machine, and then plate number 4, which is the dark one, a dark grayish color. And I'm going to run this through. That's our first one, first pass. And then I'm going to take it out, and look, it's so pretty, right? Very pretty. And actually, I think the last one I worked really hard to get that right smack dab in the center, but it won't matter. Then I'm going to take the thanks one, which, as I mentioned, is a much thinner one. So we're going to make a different sandwich. We're going to take two of our acrylic plates, and mine are pretty dulled up. These are the ones I don't use for dies anymore because they're quite concave. Let me show you if I can show you that. And so they don't do a great job at die cutting because they're not flat, but they work fine for this. So I'll take my already embossed piece and I will stick it back in another folder, which is the thanks one, just like that. And then between two acrylic pieces, once again, I'm putting my fold edge in the machine to go through that way versus the other end. And now I'm going to run it through. Could be a little jumpy because these two acrylic plates are not flat. There we go. And so the reason you're using two acrylic plates is because this is a much thinner embossing folder. And voila, there is our double embossed. So that can go on to another card. Now I'm going to make a card from scratch with some other embossing folders. I'm going to see how this works. And I forgot to mention at the top, if you're watching the replay or if you're able to jump on, please say hi, let me know you're there so I know I'm talking out to somebody in the world. If you're only just catching the replay, I'll check back for comments, and I really love to hear from you. So here is another piece. This is Smoky Slate. It measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to use the Brick and Mortar embossing folder, which actually goes this way. So the bricks run the way bricks normally do in that direction. And then I'm going to use the Dandelion. So instead of adding words, I'm going to add a flower onto it. I've not done this yet before, so we're going to try it out and see how it works. So my card is portrait orientation. And so I'm going to get the bricks going this way. This is one of the thick ones. Both of these are thick ones. So, oops, all I need is the plate, which is number 1, up here in the corner, and the embossing folder, with the fold going through first, and then plate number 4. Just line them up and run it through. I'll show you this card from start to finish. So that's our first bit of embossing, making a nice brick wall. And then we'll take the dandelion. Now, this is a large image. It covers a large piece. I probably won't get all of it in, but I'll get what I can. In fact, I don't want a lot of the leafy parts from the bottom because I do want some of the brick to show through nicely. So once again, place it in there with the fold first. Place plate number 4 on top and run it through. There we go. See how it turned out. I'm excited to see what will happen. Oh, okay, interesting. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So there we go. My dandelion is nice and defined, which is what I was going for. And the brick is still there. I thought it might compress it a little too much, but it seems to be there in a faint way. So let me get the rest of my pieces for this card. I'm going to layer it onto a piece of basic gray that's just slightly larger. So this was, I guess it was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then onto the basic. So it might glue out. Now, even with this technique, you can also go over with an ink on a sponge dauber or on a piece of wedge of sponge and add some color to your pretty embossing if you like. I'm just going to put it flat down on here, and I'm going to add a punched piece. So this is going to layer on here, but first I want to get some ribbon around it. So I've got, in this case, the, let me get the right name here, double stitch satin ribbon in red. I haven't used this probably since Christmas, but it is perfect for this card. It matches the real red card base quite nicely. So I like to add ribbon to my cards. Knots or bows. I just love the look and feel of ribbon on cards. I'm just going to tie this one in a knot. There we go. Below my pretty flowers. Now this would look nice, I think, too, in Bumblebee or So Saffron. Yeah, any of those yellow colors with some green. I just kind of grab usually what I've got sitting around in my scrap bin and cut off pieces to kind of make these go together. Now I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back. That's going to pop this up. And I learned on the weekend at a stamping event that it's really good to put a couple of dimensionals, or at least one, in the center so you don't have any sagging cards when they go through the mail, because if you just have them in the 4 corners, which is something I kind of traditionally have done, once they get through the mail, they can get a bit saggy. We don't want that. Oh, saggy cards. All right, let's get this on here, like so. There we go. It's starting to come together. And then I'm going to stamp and punch out, I should say stamp, color and punch out this kind of scrap piece, one of our dragonflies. So I think I'll grab this one. It's the one I tend to go to all the time. And a quick block, because they're not close at hand. There we go. Now, when you're using blends to color, it's always best to do your stamping in Memento ink. That's because it's a water-based, and your blends, or if you're using other markers that are alcohol-based, they won't run together this way. All right, so we'll stick this guy down here. There we go. No need to really wait, it's pretty much dry. And I grabbed Balmy Blue and Bermuda Bay to do the coloring with. So I'll do a lot of Balmy Blue and then some flecks of Bermuda Bay. I can hear a little dinging sound. I don't know what that is upstairs. You hear that, Riley? Maybe somebody's outside doing something. We have the windows open upstairs. It's so beautiful. 23 degrees and sunny today. It's a gorgeous day. And today was a especially good day for me. I got my second vaccine. Pfizer on board. Feeling good. A little sore arm. That's expected. And so really pleased with having that done. So I'm just adding a little bit of the Bermuda Bay to the wings. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen, which has lots of sparkle to it. And I'm just going to, ooh, it's got a lot of extra sparkle to it. I must have squeezed it for another project. There we go. Just going to add that over top. You don't want to mix your colors too much, but it does add that beautiful bit of pizzazz and sparkle without adding extra layers or embossing to it. This pen is fabulous. It's like 11 bucks and it lasts forever. And when you're done using it, well, maybe not forever, it lasts a really long time. And when you're done, and it's empty, you can put re-inker in it and have a little bit more sparkly re-inker. It dries fairly quickly. So I'll just push this through. Punch out my beautiful dragonfly, and I'll put him on with some dimensionals too, 2 on either side. Might be Alec playing a game, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just going to stick him there, I think. I don't have a greeting on this card. That's okay. I might put a greeting on the inside. So that's your double embossing technique. Super simple. Take 2 coordinating embossing folders. It's nice, I think, with words and with some kind of decorative pattern, and have some fun with it. Thank you for watching. Please leave me a comment if you do watch this on replay or see it on YouTube. And I thank you for being here. See you next week. Bye now.